Let's talk about a limitation of patterns. That's really good to know. So if I go to insert one of the custom made patterns, what is going to happen is any images that might be in there won't be added. And that might be fine for a lot of cases, but if it's something like this type of block where this is normally an icon, it's not really an image, and then we have it so small that you can barely read what's in here, it is kind of a pain. I acknowledge that. So basically, the way that we save patterns is going to add all of the images into the theme, and we really, really don't want that because then if you change themes in the future, any of these blocks you've added will have broken image links. So what we want is to make sure that images, even if they're icons, are added to your site, uploaded to your media library, and referenced from there. And so that's why all of our patterns do not include images, even if it's something like an icon where we don't really expect it to change. So what I want you to do is go ahead and modify, or not, you can't really modify our patterns, but create your own version for use where you want this icon to always be the same. One thing I actually think is kind of cool is that this icon can change. And so what that means is that even though this would normally be a plus icon, so let me go into the media library. This is really such a pain. Media library. So normally we use this plus icon here. We could change it and we could do like an Instagram call out. And so now there's an Instagram icon in there instead of the plus. And so you could change this to be whatever you want. It is kind of a pain because you have to set it each time. So if you don't want to set it, what you can do is save your own pattern instead of always working within hours. And that would save a version of the pattern that's saved in your database. And then it would have this image in it, but the image would be the one that's in your media library, not one that's tied to your theme. So what you would do is make sure that you're selecting this topmost group so that you've captured the entire block, either in the list view or in the block options. I'm going to go to create pattern, and then I can name it. I can add it to whatever categories I want, including you can add it to our creator pattern categories. So creator custom is where I pulled this one from. You can put the new one in there and then you could name it. I think this one's called like more recipes. And then you could do new or like with icon. You don't have to do all caps. I would do it because that's what I like, creator custom. And then I would turn off synced because I never want it to be synced. I just want to insert it as a one-time block. So this is probably what I would do. In fact, I'll go ahead and just create this one here. It's easy enough to rename it. And now this exists, ready to be filled out, has an icon in there, and that would apply to a lot of different blocks. So if I go to plus patterns, this one is the one we created, and here's the original. I am working on a plugin where you can disable the original, so that'll be coming up in the future. But this has an icon, frequently asked questions has an icon, and then this icon header is for an icon as well. This is one where it would change. So I'd probably create like 3 versions of this with the most common header icons just to make it easy for inserting. So yeah, interesting limitation. Do wish that I could use this from the media library, but honestly, I think that it's a decent compromise and I'm working on some tools to make it a little even easier to manage. So good to know about patterns though. Save some of these with icons, make your life a little bit easier.